Good mornings, Sava here from Football Heritage TV. Hope everyone is well. Apologies for the last couple of days. Have not been in the country, still not in the country as you can probably tell, so I'll try and keep this as PC as possible as I sit around my pool. Where are we? We're struggling, aren't we, Spurs, at the moment? Again, we are hearing lots of reports about Maddison, about Raya, about Ibanez, about all of these players, and yet nothing seems to actually be moving along very quickly. Other clubs seem to be in talks with players and they get the deal over the line very quickly. We've apparently been in talks with Raya for about 10 days now and cannot get a fee agreed with Brentford. Now, I understand I'm trying to stay and remain positive this transfer window about these types of things, but the more and more this happens, the more and more it feels Spursy. And I think everyone understands where that scepticism comes from Spurs fans. So I hope I'm wrong. I hope that in the next couple of days, the next week, we start to see a flood of players out, players in. But it is all very worrying. A lot of the noise that we've seen so far, please ignore that fly. A lot of the noise we've seen so far has been about Clement Longley, which is disappointing. Kulu, who is going to be the basis of this video, we'll talk about in a minute, which doesn't excite me. And then the rest of it has been Barnes, Maddison, Ibanez, players that apparently we haven't even bid for. So for me, I just don't know what to expect. Then you get fans saying, well, Postecoglou, he needs time to see all the players. He needs time to work out who he wants and who doesn't fit his system. But the problem is simply this. If we do that every single time we bring in the new manager, we're just literally going to keep the same players over and over and over again, aren't we? Surely by now managers will know these players. Surely by now they'll know who Dyer is and Davis is and Sanchez and Sessegnon and Perisic and all of these players. Surely by now they know what is going on. So I'm going to talk today about Kulusevski. Kulusevski for me, lots of people going mad. I've seen people on Instagram and Twitter going mad, going, yeah, we got this deal done, it's amazing, brilliant, only 30 million, blah, blah, blah. For me, I'm not excited by it. It is what it is. I think he's a good footballer. I really hope that Postecoglou can get more out of him than Antonio Conte did, because last season, from what I saw, I was very, very, very underwhelmed by this guy that everyone seems to drool over. Lots of people go, oh my God, but he was amazing the back end of the season before. Okay, but we've seen footballers before, haven't we, have really good patches of form, then do nothing again. I think the thing for me with Kulusevski, as I said, first of all, it's that our first signing is a player that we've had at the club before, so it's not exciting from that prospect for me. Second of all, it's that we've seen him have such a bad season. You know, goal scoring wise, the man managed to get 2 goals. 2 goals. Really, really poor. To put it in perspective, Ryan Sessegnon, who hardly played, he scored 2 goals. I think Eric Dyer managed to bag himself 2 goals. So I'm really, really, really disappointed with what I've seen from him, if I'm brutally honest. I know people will just call me negative. Listen, I'm hoping we can get the player that a lot of you seem to think he is. But I feel that the player that a lot of you think he is a player that we've not seen, we've not witnessed. I think it's a player that a lot of people have dreamt up in their heads. I know that sounds harsh. I'm probably very harsh when it comes to judging players, but from what I saw last year, he didn't really do anything for me. And I saw a lot of players for other clubs that were miles better than Kulusevski. Even if I look down at Brighton, you look at how good Matoma was. If you look at Brentford, look at how well players like Mbomo did. Then you look down at Fulham and you look how well even Solomon, who didn't play that much, had a better season than Kulusevski. You look at Willian. You know, there are lots of players. Jared Bowen. You look at all of these players that people will put here, but then put Kulu way up there out of the screen. And we'll talk about how amazing he is. He didn't even have as good a season as those guys. So is it that it was just a bad year for everyone at the club? Is it that the club were just poor? Or is it that Kulusevski isn't this great player that people think he is? I don't know, is the point. I'm not judging it, I don't know. But the signing doesn't make me jump out of my chair and think, yes, Spurs are looking to a new era and we're moving forward. It makes me think that it was an easy option and that we've got no scouting in place and haven't actually bothered to do our homework to find out whether there is anyone better than this guy out there. Postecoglou, for me, I think that could be one of his toughest jobs. Can we get a tune out of Son and Kulusevski? Because again, what worries me is we're going into another season with the same front three, and for me, it's all becoming a little bit predictable. People will say, oh, Son, Kane and Kulu, when they're on form, is one of the best front threes in Europe. Okay, but this is where I feel we need to mix it up. This is where I feel now, should the Kane-Son combination be broken up? Should we look at different elements? Should we look at different positions for players? Should we look at some players with some different characteristics and skill sets? Or do we just keep going down this Kane and Son route? I'm not sure. But to bring it back to the subject that is Kulusevski, how excited are you? Are you happy? By the way, just me questioning things doesn't mean I'm unhappy. As I've said before, I wasn't bothered if we signed him, and I'm not bothered that we have signed him. All I'm saying is, for me, Postecoglou needs to find a way to get this guy playing effectively. Now, does that mean he needs to play week in, week out? Should he be the first name on the team sheet? I don't think so. I think he's got to earn it big time this year, because I'm really disappointed. We all said that Son had a bad year, but even his season surpassed Kulusevski's, and Son wasn't great, and his season surpassed Kulusevski's. Do we see Kulu play out wide right? Do we see him tucking into more of a central role? Has he got the legs to play more of a central role? What do we think? There's a lot of questions that come with this signing. I feel it was an easy signing to get over the line, and I think that people need to calm down before we start waxing lyrical. So let me know your thoughts on Kulusevski. Excited? Out of 10, where is your excitement levels with this? Is it a no-brainer? Is it Spurs being cheap again? Is it Spurs not looking at options, alternative options to Kulu? Or are we all happy? So I'm not being negative, I'm just asking you some questions. Where do you see him playing? What's his best position? Was last year just a blip? A blip normally isn't a year, but was last year just a blip? Will we see him better in a Postecoglou, more positive attacking system than we saw under Antonio Conte? Who are we going for next? Where are the signings coming from, people? Because I'm starting to get worried now. I'm seeing other clubs constantly in talks with players, and I'm not seeing us do a whole lot. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks we see a lot. But at the moment, I'm genuinely quite worried. Much love. I'll be back with another video tomorrow. Apologies, I've been on a stag do, so I've done 3 nights in a row where it's been absolutely crazy and hectic. But we were out here last night in Spain watching the Spanish national team win the Nations League. Very good game, some top players. That's where we should be scouting. But hey, much love. See you soon. Take care. And please, we are 1 subscriber away from 6K. So if you'd like to subscribe, please do. Thanks everyone. Bye-bye.